Good evening and welcome. We're going to continue chapter one of The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is Lisa Lovestone-Gifford, and I'm happy to be here and thank you for joining me. So we left off at a little past the halfway mark in chapter one. So we were talking about considering hell as a state of mind. Um, let's see. I'll just start here. If you consider hell as a state of mind, then hell is all around us. Others may warn us that if we don't do what they say we should do, we will go to hell. Bad news. We are already in hell, including the people who tell us that. No human can condemn another to hell because we are already there. Others can put us in a deeper hell, true, but only if we allow this to happen. Every human has his or her own personal dream, and just like the society dream is often ruled by fear, we learn to dream hell in our own life, in our personal dream. The same fears manifest in different ways for each person. Of course, but we experience anger, jealousy, hate, envy, and other negative emotions. Our personal dream can also become an ongoing nightmare where we suffer and live in a state of fear. But we don't need to dream a nightmare. It is possible to enjoy a pleasant dream. All of humanity is searching for truth, justice, and beauty. We are on an eternal search for the truth because we only believe in the lies we have stored in our mind. We were searching for justice because in the belief system we have, there is no justice. We search for beauty because it doesn't matter how beautiful a person is, we don't believe that person has beauty. We keep searching and searching when everything is already within us. There is no truth to find. Wherever we turn our heads, we all see it is the truth, but with the agreements and beliefs we have stored in our mind, we have no eyes for this truth. We don't see the truth because we are blind. What blinds us are all those false beliefs we have in our mind. We have the need to be right and to make others wrong. Do you not notice, like on social media, how people need to be right and they will gaslight the hell out of you to shut you up and to prove their point? Yeah, those people are very disturbed and desperately need healing. We trust what we believe, and our belief sets us up for suffering. It is as if we live in the middle of a fog that doesn't let us see any further than our own nose. We live in a fog that is not even real. The fog is a dream, your personal dream of life, what you believe, all the concepts you have about what you are, all the agreements you have made with others, with yourself, and even with God. Your whole mind is a fog, which the Toltecs call a mitote. Your mind is a dream where 1,000 people talk at the same time and nobody understands each other. This is the condition of the human mind, a big mitote, and that big mitote you cannot see what you really are. In India, they call the mitote Maya, which means illusion. It is the personality's notion of I am. Everything you believe about yourself and the world, all the concepts and programming you have in your mind are all mitote. We cannot see who we truly are. We cannot see what we are, that we are not free. This is why humans resist life. To be alive is the biggest fear humans have. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. The risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because of the fear of not being accepted and of not being good enough for somebody else. During the process of domestication, we form an image of what perfection is in order to try to be good enough. We create an image of how we should be in order to be accepted by everybody. We especially try to please the ones who love us, like mom, dad, brothers, sisters, priests, and the teachers. Trying to be good enough for them, we create an image of perfection, but we don't fit this image. We create this image, but this image is not real. We are never going to perfect. We are never going to be perfect from this point of view. Never. This might feel kind of doomy and gloomy, but hang in there, it gets better. Not being perfect, we reject ourselves, and the level of self rejection depends on how effective the adults were in breaking our integrity. After domestication, it is no longer about being good enough for anybody else. We no longer are good enough even for ourselves because we don't fit with our own image of perfection. We cannot forgive ourselves for not being what we wish to be, or rather what we believe we should be. We cannot forgive ourselves for not being perfect. We know we are not what we believe we are supposed to be, and we feel false, frustrated, and dishonest. We try to hide ourselves and we pretend to be what we are not. The result is that we feel unauthentic and wear social masks to keep others from noticing this. We're so afraid that somebody else will notice that we are not what we pretend to be. We judge others according to our image of perfection as well, and naturally they fall short of our expectations. We dishonor ourselves just to please other people. We even do harm to our physical bodies just to be accepted by others. You see teenagers taking drugs just to avoid being rejected by other teenagers. They're not aware that the problem is that they don't accept themselves. They reject themselves because they are not what they pretend to be. They wish to be a certain way, but they are not. For this, they carry shame and guilt. Humans punish themselves endlessly for not being what they believe they should be. They become very self abusive and they use other people to abuse themselves as well. But nobody abuses us more than we abuse ourselves, and it is the judge, the victim, and the belief system that make us do this. True, we find people who say their husband or wife, mother or father abused them, but you know that we abuse ourselves much more than that. The way we judge ourselves is the worst judge that ever existed. If we make a mistake in front of people, we try to deny the mistake and cover it up. But as soon as we are alone, the judge becomes so strong, the guilt is so strong, and we feel stupid or so bad or so unworthy. In your whole life, nobody has ever abused you more than you have abused yourself. And the limit of your self abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from someone else. If someone else abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in the relationship and tolerate it endlessly. If you abuse yourself very badly, you can even tolerate someone who beats you up, humiliates you, and treats you like dirt. Why? Because you are in a belief system that says, I deserve it. This person is doing me a favor by being with me. I'm not worthy of love and respect. I'm not good enough. We have the need to be accepted and to be loved by others, but we cannot accept the love. We cannot accept and love ourselves. The more self love we have, the less we will experience self abuse. Self abuse comes from self rejection, and self rejection comes from having any image of what it means to be perfect and never measuring up to that ideal. Our image of perfection is the reason we reject ourselves, is why we don't accept ourselves the way we are, and why we don't accept others the way they are. Prelude to a Dream. There are thousands of agreements you have made with yourself, with other people, with your dream of life, with God, with society, with your parents, your spouse, and your children. But the most important agreements are the ones you made with yourself. If you are a follower of Bashar, he talks about agreements and he calls them permission slips, that you write yourself a permission slip. It is that way because you've agreed to for it to be that way, or you have given a permission slip for that. It's kind of what he says. In these agreements, you tell yourself who you are, what you feel, what you believe, and how to behave. The result is what you call your personality. In these agreements, you say, this is what I am. This is what I believe. I can do certain things, and some things I cannot do. This is reality. This is fantasy. This this is reality. That is fantasy. This is possible. That is impossible. One single agreement is not such a problem, but we have many agreements to make us suffer, that make us fail in life. If you want to live a life of joy and fulfillment, you have to find the courage to break these agreements that are fear based and claim your personal power. The agreements that come from fear required us to expend a lot of energy, but the agreements that come from love help us to conserve energy and even gain extra energy. Each of us is born with a certain amount of personal power that we rebuild every day after we rest. Unfortunately, we spend all our personal power first to create all these agreements and then to keep those agreements. Our personal power is dissipated by all the agreements we have created, and the result is that we feel powerless. We have just enough power to survive each day because most of it is used to keep the agreements that trap us in the dream of the planet. We can How can we change the entire dream of our life when we have no power to change even the smallest agreement? If we can see it as our agreement, if we can see it is our agreements that rule our own life, and we don't like the dream of our life, we need to change the agreements. When we are finally ready to change our agreements, there are four very powerful agreements that will help us to break those agreements that come from fear and deplete our energy. Each time you break an agreement, all the power you use to create it returns to you. If you adopt these new four agreements, they will create enough personal power for you to change the entire system of your old agreements. You need a very strong will in order to adopt the four agreements. But if you can begin to live your life with these agreements, the transformation in your life will be amazing. You will see the drama of hell disappear right before your very eyes. Instead of living in a dream of hell, you will be creating a new dream, your personal dream that is heavenly. Okay, that's the end of chapter 1. We'll dip into chapter 2 just a little bit. Chapter 2, the first agreement: be impeccable with your word. The first agreement is the most important one and also the most difficult one to honor. It is so important that with just the first agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence I call heaven on earth. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. Why your word? Your word is the power that you have to create. So, words, um, they're like spells. Like you say when you write something, you're spelling, you're making spells. And they're either good spells or bad spells. And So think about that with your words, spelling. So when you write, write something good, something positive. When you speak, speak something good, speak something positive. Your words are gifts that come from directly from God. The Gospel of John in the Bible, speaking of the creation of the universe, says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God." Through the Word, you express your creative power. It is through the Word that you manifest everything. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the Word. What you dream, what you feel, what you really are, all will be manifested through your words. The word is not just a sound or a written symbol. The word or words are a force. They are the power you have to express and communicate, to think, and thereby to create the events in your life. You can speak. What other animal on the planet can speak with words? The word is the most powerful tool you have as a human. It is the tool of magic, but like a sword with two edges. Your words can create the most beautiful dream, or your words can destroy everything around you. One edge is the misuse of the word, which creates a living hell. The other edge is the impeccability of the word, which will only create beauty, love, and heaven on earth. Depending on how it is used, the word can set you free, or it can enslave you even more than you know. All the magic you possess is based on your word. Your word is pure magic, and misuse of your word is black magic. The word is so powerful that one word can change a life or destroy the lives of millions of people. Some years ago, one man in Germany, by the use of his words, manipulated a whole country of the most intelligent people. He led them into a world war with just the power of his words. He convinced others to commit the most atrocious acts of violence. He activated people's fear with his words, and like a big explosion, there was killing and war all around the world. That's how powerful our words are. So we can create war or we can create peace. I hope you want to create peace. All over the world, humans destroyed other humans because they were afraid of each other. Hitler's words, based on fear generated beliefs and agreements, will be remembered for centuries. May we not forget, not too unlike what people in the United States are living with right now. We're not in a world war, but we are definitely experiencing the power of the words of a man who is mentally very unbalanced and very selfish. God help us. The human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. The seeds are opinions, ideas, and concepts. You plant a seed, a thought, and it grows. The word is like a seed, and the human mind is so fertile. The only problem is that too often it is fertile for seeds of fear. Every human mind is fertile, but only for those kinds of seeds is it prepared for. What is important is to see what kind of seeds our mind is fertile for and to prepare our mind to receive seeds of love. Take the examples of Hitler. He sent out all those seeds of fear, and they grew very strong and achieved massive destruction. Seeing the awesome power of the word, we must understand what power comes out of our mouths. Our fear or doubt planted, one fear or doubt planted in our mind can create an endless drama of events. One word is like a spell, and humans use the word like black magicians thoughtlessly putting spells on each other. Every human is a magician, and we can either put a spell on someone with our word or we can relax someone from a spell. Relax, I meant release. We can release someone from a spell. We cast spells all the time with our opinions. As an example, I see a friend and give him an opinion that just popped into my mind, and I say, I see what kind of color in your face, a kind of color in your face that is in people who are going to get cancer. If he listens to those words and if he agrees to the words, he will have cancer in less than 1 year. There is power in the word. During our domestication, our parents and siblings gave their opinions about us without even thinking. We believed those opinions and we lived in fear over these opinions, like not being good at swimming or sports or writing. Someone gives an opinion and says, "Look, this girl is ugly." The girl listens and she believes she is ugly. She grows up with the idea that she is ugly. That is the spell that she is under. By hooking our attention, the word can enter our mind and change a whole belief for better or for worse. Another example, you may believe you are stupid. That's a pretty common one, right? And you may have believed this for as long as you can remember. This agreement can be very tricky, causing you to do a lot of things just to ensure that you are stupid. You may do something and think to yourself, I wish I was smart, but I must be stupid or I wouldn't have done that. The mind goes in hundreds of different directions, and we could spend days getting hooked by just that one belief in our own stupidity. Then one day someone hooks your attention and using the words lets you know that you are not stupid. No. You believe that the person says what the person says and you make a new agreement. As a result, you no longer feel or act stupid. A whole spell oh, I need a drink. A whole spell is broken just by the power of the word. Conversely, If you believe you are stupid and someone hooks your attention and says, "Yes, you are really the most stupid person I have ever met," the agreement will be reinforced and become even stronger. We should only speak kindly to people. All right, I'm going to stop right there. We're into chapter 2 of the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is Lisa Lovestone-Gifford, and I need to go get a drink and go to bed. We will continue hopefully tomorrow with chapter 2. I hope you all sleep well. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Blessings, blessings, blessings. This is Lisa signing out.